I donated $10,000 proudly to the family, bro, and I'll do it again. You guys gotta get that stupid victim mentality out of your brains, bro. There's completely something really fucked up in this world to think this is a race thing. You don't bring a knife to school. We're failing as people.
You wake up to a headline that instantly sparks outrage. Carmelo Anthony's donors just got blindsided. According to breaking reports, the CEO of the fundraising platform tied to his legal defense has officially refunded the donations, and no one saw it coming. The money, once meant to support his court case, has been pulled back without warning. And now, people who believed they were helping fight for justice feel completely betrayed. You scroll through your feed and see post after post from donors venting their frustrations. Some say they gave hundreds, others just a few bucks, but the message is the same. I supported Carmelo because I believed the system was against him. Now the platform is acting like he's the villain. Whether you agree with Carmelo's actions or not, this refund just rewrote the narrative. And here's what makes it even more complicated. There was no official statement from Carmelo's family, no update, no thank you, no explanation. Just a cold corporate notification from the fundraising platform letting donors know the money they contributed has been returned and the fundraiser is now closed. That's it. People are asking, was this a silent admission of guilt? Did the fundraising platform uncover something disturbing behind the scenes? Or is this just PR damage control in the face of mounting backlash? The platform's CEO hasn't gone on record with a detailed explanation yet, but anonymous insiders suggest it was due to ethical conflicts after new evidence allegedly surfaced. If that's true, what exactly was discovered? What forced them to take this kind of unprecedented action? Now, the story isn't about guilt or innocence, it's about trust. And right now, the people who were standing by Carmelo's side feel like the rug's been pulled from under them. Now you're starting to see the ripple effect. This wasn't just a quiet refund, it was a public unraveling of everything Carmelo's supporters thought they were backing. Screenshots of refund emails are being shared like wildfire. Donors are tagging each other, asking, "Did you get yours too?" What was once a unified movement, complete with hashtags, t-shirts, and donation drives, has turned into a fractured community of confused and furious contributors. Some are even threatening legal action against the platform, demanding to know why their money was handled without consent. Others feel humiliated, like they were emotionally manipulated into funding a cause that may not have been as righteous as it was originally portrayed. One now deleted tweet summed it up perfectly. "We didn't donate to a runaway story, we donated to justice." And you start to think, how did it all flip so fast? Just weeks ago, Carmelo's family stood in front of cameras, painting a picture of a misunderstood teen from a stable, God-fearing household. His mother's speech went viral. The narrative was clear. Carmelo was being targeted unfairly, and public support was the only thing keeping the legal system from crushing him. But then came the federal raid, the rumors of him fleeing, the silent GoFundMe page, the merch, and now this. Supporters are now left to ask themselves uncomfortable questions. Were we used? Was this fundraiser just a temporary shield while something darker played out behind the scenes? And if the platform's CEO made this move on principle, what do they know that we don't? Because one thing is for sure, refunds this big don't happen without a serious reason. And if that reason ever sees the light of day, the fallout might make this betrayal feel like just the beginning. Then comes the silence, the kind that feels loud. Carmelo's family, once vocal and media-ready, has gone completely dark. No press conferences, no public statements, no live streams defending the refund decision or thanking their supporters for standing by them through the chaos. You check the GoFundMe page, it's been wiped. Comments are locked, updates have vanished. The once booming digital rally behind Carmelo has flatlined, and that's when the speculation hits overdrive. People begin digging. Reddit threads light up with theories. TikTok creators break down timelines, piecing together everything from the initial fundraiser launch to the federal raid, the alleged escape, and now this sudden shutdown. One creator puts it bluntly, if they were really innocent, why would they let this happen without a fight? Some think Carmelo's legal team advised them to lay low. Others believe there's something far more calculated at play, like a behind-the-scenes deal, or worse, a panic move to avoid legal scrutiny. And with the fundraiser money now refunded, people start asking a chilling question. Was that money ever even used for legal defense in the first place? And if not, where was it going? It's that type of question that shifts the entire tone of the conversation. This is no longer just about a controversial case. It's about a collapse in credibility. Even those who once rode hard for Carmelo are starting to walk away. One popular creator who had been selling Justice for Carmelo hoodies deletes every related post and puts their shop on hold. The comments on their last video? Brutal. You feel it. That slow but steady loss of public trust. Because when people give from their pockets, it's not just money, it's belief. And when belief gets betrayed, forgiveness doesn't come easy. Now the attention turns toward the fundraising platform itself. Everyone wants to know, why now? What did they find, hear, or fear that pushed them to hit the kill switch on a fundraiser that had already raked in tens of thousands of dollars? Because one thing is certain, refunds on this scale are not normal. These platforms thrive on transaction fees and PR-friendly causes. So for a CEO to pull the plug, that means the red flags weren't just flapping, they were on fire. Some insiders are whispering about mounting legal pressure, that prosecutors may have started sniffing around the fundraising trail, asking where the money really went, who accessed it, and how it was being spent. And let's be real, if even a portion of that money wasn't used for legal fees, that's fraud, plain and simple. You start noticing headlines popping up like, was Karmelo's fund misleading from the start? Platform under scrutiny after shutting down controversial case fund. Ethical or legal, why the CEO may have had no choice. And in the background, you still hear nothing from Karmelo's team. No receipts, no legal invoices, no transparent breakdown of where the donations were supposed to go. That silence starts to sound a lot like guilt, or at the very least, like someone trying to cover their tracks. At this point, the refund isn't just about giving money back. It's about trying to clean up a mess that's already too big to contain. And you can't help but wonder, were there early warnings everyone ignored? Did the platform wait too long to act? And now that the refund button's been pressed, is that enough to protect them from what's coming next? Because while the donors are angry, the legal system is still watching, and what started as damage control might soon become evidence. By now, the narrative has fully shifted. What started as a case about justice, youth, and due process has turned into a messy expose on public manipulation, digital trust, and financial accountability. The donors, many of whom were driven by raw emotion, empathy, or shared social values, are now organizing their own response. Some are even banding together to demand a formal audit of the fundraiser, pushing for transparency that the family never offered. And that's when another bombshell drops. A leaked message from someone allegedly connected to the fundraising platform hints that internal concerns had been growing for weeks. Discrepancies in withdrawal attempts, vague updates from the family, a growing list of questions with zero documentation to back up the answers. The message doesn't say it outright, but the implication is clear. Someone inside the platform no longer trusted the people behind the campaign. Suddenly, everything starts looking different. The heartfelt speeches, the emotional Instagram posts, even the viral hashtags. Were they part of a larger plan to build sympathy and convert it into donations? No one wants to believe it, but the pieces are starting to fit. And now, donors feel like pawns in a bigger game, one they never agreed to play. You scroll through the latest video comment sections, and the mood is unforgiving. So we basically funded a getaway car? I want every penny back, and then some. If this was my money, and they lied, I hope they go to jail too. Even content creators who once gave Karmelo's family the benefit of the doubt are changing their tone. Because this isn't just about whether the teen is guilty or innocent. It's about how the entire support system may have been built on false promises. And the scariest part? This might just be the beginning of what gets uncovered next. Then the lawsuits start rolling in. Not criminal charges yet, but civil complaints. Refunded donors are now talking about filing class action suits, not just against the platform, but potentially against the family itself if it's proven they misrepresented their intentions. Because even though the money was returned, that's not enough for some. In their eyes, the emotional betrayal is just as damaging as the financial one. You see legal analysts on YouTube and TikTok chiming in now. One clip gets over 500,000 views in a day. It's a lawyer breaking down how GoFundMe-style platforms often protect themselves with strict terms of service, but how individual fundraisers might still be liable if found to be deceptive. And this case? He says it's a textbook example of blurred lines between desperation and deception. The conversation gets deeper. People begin questioning the ethics of these emotional crowdfunding campaigns. Should families involved in pending criminal cases even be allowed to raise funds publicly? Where's the regulation? Who keeps these fundraisers honest when people's generosity is on the line? And through all of this, Karmelo's name keeps trending, but not in the way it used to. No more calls for justice, no more heartstring pulling, just memes, mockery, and mounting public disdain. You also notice something else. The community that once stood behind the Free Karmelo movement is splintering. Influencers who boosted the fundraiser are now deleting their videos. Activists are quietly distancing themselves. Comment sections turn hostile. And the family? Still silent. But in that silence, people are drawing conclusions. Because if you were innocent, if your story was still righteous, wouldn't you be fighting to clear your name instead of vanishing into the shadows? The money might be gone, but the damage? That's permanent. And just like that, what started as a campaign for justice ends in betrayal, silence, and suspicion. The name Karmelo Anthony, once surrounded by cries for fairness and sympathy, has now become a symbol of how fast the tide can turn when the truth gets buried under money, mystery, and manipulation. You're watching it unfold in real time. The donors feel scammed, the platform is scrambling, the public is outraged, and the family? Now ghosting the very people who stood in their corner when no one else would. There are no more trending hashtags, no more emotional live streams, just deleted posts, locked comment sections, and a digital trail that's raising more red flags by the day. And in the absence of answers, speculation fills the void. People begin digging up old footage, dissecting the tone of the mother's press conference, analyzing every purchase, every quote, every delay in communication. You're not watching a fundraiser fall apart anymore. You're watching a reputation implode. So what happens next? Maybe nothing. Maybe this story fades into the background like so many others. Or maybe this is the beginning of an entirely new investigation, one that doesn't ask what happened during the stabbing, but what happened after. Where did the money really go? Who knew what? And did anyone knowingly play the public for fools? Because if there's one thing this entire saga has made clear, it's this. Justice doesn't only live in a courtroom. It lives in the choices people make after the cameras stop rolling. And for those who gave their money, their time, and their trust to a cause they believed in, this wasn't just a failed fundraiser. It was a betrayal that can't be refunded.